Alrighty, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to my channel, going over things across the ECHL. Just a quick little video this morning to go over, kind of recap last night's events, where things sit in terms of what the Kelly Cup playoffs look like for the upcoming postseason. So just, again, giving a quick look at going over the divisions, the four divisions, and then again, looking at what happened last night and where the teams sit. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. We did have somebody clinch last night. The Reading Royals did punch their ticket for the Kelly Cup playoffs. I'm going to start right there with that North Division. The shocker for me was Newfoundland getting shut out. Right now their magic number is still 3 to clinch that North Division with 6 games remaining. Reading did clinch a playoff berth last night. Their magic number to clinch that second spot is 7, with Maine beating Tulsa. That's what kept that going. For Maine, their magic number is 3 to clinch a playoff berth, so that's the combined number of wins and losses. So they just basically need 6 points since they have the tiebreakers over Adirondack and Worcester right now. But yeah, that's where the Maine Mariners sit. They're close to clinching a playoff berth. Worcester magic number is 6. They are in a dogfight with Adirondack right now. Worcester with 5 games left on their season, and I believe, can I get it pulled up here for you, folks? I know that a majority of the Railers' games for the rest of the year are against Adirondack, so that is an intriguing thing to see, to have two teams that are chasing each other. I mean, again, we see a similar thing with the with Florida and Atlanta in the South Division, where Florida and Atlanta finished the season with 2 games in Estero. But yeah, Worcester with 5 games left on the year. 4 of those are against Adirondack. The only other game is on the 5th of April when they host Maine. So Worcester with 3 home games left, 2 road games. So things are heating up for the Railers. If you're a Railers fan, it was definitely a good sign to see them get that overtime win yesterday. You don't want to see that game go to overtime. I mean, I know personally I would much rather see them get that win in regulation. But the Railers did get a win, which is the most important thing. Adirondack, again, they are the worst they can finish is in 5th. They have eliminated Norfolk and Tualaga. So the worst they can finish is 5th, but they are also fighting for that playoff spot right now, 3 points back of Worcester with 7 games left on their schedule. And as I mentioned, 4 of Adirondack's 7 games are against Worcester. And then the Lions from Quebec have 53 points on the year now. They lost last night. Their magic number is 2 to not finish in last place. And then Norfolk, of course, was able to top Newfoundland. And moving on to the South Division, nobody has clinched a playoff spot yet in the South Division. South Carolina trounced Cincinnati last night, beating the Cyclones 11-0. That was just something I was not expecting at all. Cincinnati is a very tough place to play, and for the Stingrays to come in there and just absolutely dominate that game just completely surprised me. So, not sure what happened there. We'll see what happens moving forward. But the Stingrays do take over the first spot in the South Division by virtue of their tiebreaker that they have over Greenville. South Carolina's magic numbers 3 to clinch a playoff spot. So with South Carolina playing 2 more games this weekend, the Stingrays are in Fort Wayne tonight, and then Atlanta is home against Florida tonight and tomorrow. So South Carolina in Fort Wayne tonight, at Toledo tomorrow. So they have a chance to at least clinch a playoff spot this weekend. Magic numbers 7 to eliminate Florida and 8 to eliminate both Greenville and Jacksonville. For the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, currently in 2nd place in the South Division. Magic numbers right now 3 for the Swamp Rabbits to eliminate Atlanta and clinch a playoff berth. They lost at home in overtime to Florida. Magic number to eliminate the Everblades is 7, and to eliminate the Icemen is 8. Greenville got a win over Orlando, a 1-0 win. The only goal that was scored was a shorthanded, unassisted goal last night at the Amway Center in Orlando. So that was impressive. Charles Williams, impressive again for Jacksonville. He was able to get the shutout. Two of the three goaltenders last night that had shutouts, Cale Morris and Charles Williams, both former Indy Fuel goaltenders, so that was pretty cool to see for me. And then Tyler Wall of South Carolina was able to record the third shutout. But yeah, so we have Jacksonville magic number is 1 to eliminate Orlando, so they can eliminate the Solar Bears from being able to make the playoffs tonight if they beat them. This is the last game of the week for Jacksonville. Both they and Orlando take the day off tomorrow. But then for Jacksonville, as I mentioned, match number is 3 for them to eliminate Atlanta. That's their playoff number. And then 8 to eliminate the Everblades. For Florida, as I mentioned, they got that win in Greenville last night. They play in Atlanta tonight and tomorrow. Their magic number is 1 to eliminate Orlando and then 4 to eliminate Atlanta. Atlanta, their magic number is still 1 to eliminate Savannah. Savannah cannot make the playoffs anymore, but they can finish as high as 5th. Atlanta can end that tonight if they beat Florida, or if they get 1 point at all. And then Orlando's elimination number from being able to get that 5th spot is 4. For the Solar Bears, again, they lost last night to Jacksonville. Their magic number to eliminate Savannah is 4. And then one of the most impressive wins on the night last night was the Ghost Pirates beating Atlanta. Atlanta fighting for a playoff spot, but the fact that Savannah was able to beat them in regulation, that was impressive for me. And then in the Central Division, of course, Cincinnati losing to South Carolina. They play tonight against Wheeling. Magic number to eliminate the Indy Fuel from being able to win the division is 1. So if Cincinnati gets a point at all, they would eliminate the Fuel. Actually, that is not the case. They need 2 points. They need those 2 points because they do not have the tiebreakers clinched yet for the Fuel. Against the Fuel. So Cincinnati needs 2 points to eliminate Indy. Cincinnati's magic number is 5 to eliminate the Walleye, so they cannot clinch the division this weekend. For Toledo, they lost at home to Iowa 3-1. That was another very impressive, very surprising result. Tonight, Toledo will host the Indy Fuel. I will be at that game, so look out for me on the broadcast. Toledo's magic number 3 to eliminate Indy and clinch at least the 2nd spot in the postseason. Indy was able to beat Wheeling 3-1. Their magic number right now is 3 to eliminate Fort Wayne and clinch that 3rd spot. They just need 5 points to do that. Or actually, it's still 6 points that they need to do that by virtue of tiebreakers with Fort Wayne. Right now, they are +8 in their tiebreakers, but since Fort Wayne has 8 games remaining, Fort Wayne can still tie them. So again, if the Fuel get one more victory in either regulation or overtime, they will clinch the tiebreaker against Fort Wayne and drop that number down by 1 for their magic numbers. Fort Wayne, again, their playoff number is just 1 if they get a point at all against South Carolina, or if Wheeling loses at all in Cincinnati, the Comets will clinch a berth in the Kelly Cup playoffs. For Wheeling right now, they unfortunately did lose in Indy last night. Their magic numbers are 4 and 8 for Iowa and Kalamazoo respectively. To finish in that 5th spot, Kalamazoo was able to beat Fort Wayne, drop their magic number to 5 to finish in that 6th spot. They could still get up to 5th, but they cannot make the playoffs anymore. And then for the Iowa Heartlanders, they're just playing for pride right now, but got a win in Toledo last night. In the Mountain Division, Idaho playing for the Brabham Cup. If they get a win at home against Kansas City tonight, the Mavericks were able to get that win last night. That was another very, very impressive thing that I saw last night, was Kansas City going into Idaho and winning. For the Steelheads, just their 4th regulation loss of the year at home. So that was incredibly impressive. Again, Idaho's magic number is 1, or it's actually 2 points that they need. So 1 win and 1 Cincinnati loss for Idaho to clinch the Brabham Cup, which is the regular season points championship. Kansas City currently sitting in 2nd place in the Mountain Division. They eliminated Tulsa last night with that victory. Magic numbers are 5 to eliminate Rapid City, 6 to eliminate Utah and clinch a playoff berth, and then 6 to eliminate Wichita as well, and then 8 is their magic number to eliminate the Allen Americans and clinch that 2nd spot. For Allen, they got a win in Rapid City last night in overtime. Their magic number is just 1 right now to eliminate the Tulsa Oilers from being able to get as high as the 3rd spot. Right now, their magic number to eliminate Rapid City is 6, and their magic number for Utah and Wichita is both 7, and Utah is that playoff line right now. Right now, the Grizzlies sitting just below that with 65 points, so that is Allen's playoff number is 7 right now. So it looks like the Mountain Division is going to come down to the very last day of the season. Wichita scuffling right now, struggling very badly. They lost again in Utah last night. They've given up 14 goals this week so far, gave up 8 on Wednesday, and gave up 6 more last night. The Thunder right now still in that playoff spot, still with their destiny in their own hands right now, but struggling. Still struggling pretty badly. Magic number is 1 for Tulsa, or for Wichita to eliminate Tulsa, 6 for the Thunder to eliminate Rapid City, and 7 to clinch a playoff berth, which now means they need some help from Utah to lose. But again, they've got to find a way to beat the Grizzlies in the Maverick Center tonight if they want to be able to get a spot in the postseason, in my opinion. For Utah, their magic number 2 to eliminate Tulsa, 6 to eliminate Rapid City. Again, they're taking it from Wichita right now, and that's impressive to see. Again, if Utah wins tonight in regulation, they will surpass Wichita and move into the playoffs. But we'll see what happens tonight. With Rapid City losing in overtime, their magic number now just 3 for them to eliminate Tulsa. Rapid City is currently 4 points back of the playoffs with 7 games left to play, so they are still very much alive in the postseason, but they've got to find a way to beat the Allen Americans. Allen was able to win in overtime last night, as I mentioned, and then Tulsa with the most difficult task, having to go all the way across the country to travel to Maine. They did lose in overtime to the Mariners last night and got a point, so that was good for the Oilers. But just really quickly, go over what the matchups would be as the standings stand right now. Start with that North Division. Right now, it would be Newfoundland and Worcester in the first round, and then Reading against Maine. In the ECHL's South Division, that's the other half of the Eastern Conference matchups. Right now, it would be South Carolina and Florida in the first round, and then Greenville and Jacksonville is how the bracket is shaking out. And then in the Central Division, we're very, very close to having the 4 teams set. And that would be Cincinnati and Fort Wayne, and then Toledo and Indy would be the 2 first-round matchups. And then in the Mountain Division, as of right now, today, it would be Idaho and Wichita and Kansas City and Allen in the first round. That's what happened across the ECHL last night. Not going to go over Fighting Majors right now. We're just going to go over that on Monday when I give my weekly recap, as well as going over what happened over these last 2 days. A little bit busier than normal Sunday with 8 games being played. Normally there's about 4 or 5 games, but there's actually 8 games being played on Sunday. Tonight for the second straight night, all 28 teams in action. So tune into Flow Sports and see if the broadcast is actually going to work for you. Make sure that Flow Sports has their connectivity and make sure that the teams have their connectivity. And just lots of exciting ECHL hockey coming up tonight, so stay tuned for that, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.